site set up in a shopping center for federal workers in Maryland.
Those are cheers from furloughed federal workers in Prince George's County who just saw another truck of food pull into the parking lot. The county is home to more than 60,000 federal workers. Earlier, the line here wrapped around the shopping center and into the neighborhood. The Capital Area Food Bank started the day with 300 boxes of proteins and pasta, among other goods, enough for 150 families to get 2 boxes each. But it ran out in the middle of distribution. Jay is a furloughed federal worker from the National Institutes of Health. He only wanted to use his first name out of fear of losing his job. He has a 1- and 5-year-old at home.
This whole fiscal year, 2025, I was worried about my job, was worried about getting others riffed. So it was a lot. It was draining, emotionally draining. So now the reality is sitting in when you're not getting a check and you need to provide for your family.
The Capital Area Food Bank has had some of its funding cut by the federal government. But as the shutdown stretches on, Radha Muthaya, the CEO, says they plan to keep buying and distributing food as long as they can, working with retailers, donors, and volunteers to keep food coming in.
This is sort of a perfect storm of a situation that we're facing with increased need in our community and throughout the country, really, at the very same time when we've got reduced sources of food supply.
And residents are grateful. Wanda Bright is another furloughed federal worker who was relieved to see that second truck show up. She was happy to receive pasta and bread.
A lot of us are stressed, and that, takes on our mental health. And a lot of people can't handle this. Some people can, a lot of people cannot.
After seeing the need, the food bank plans to double the number of boxes, 600 at each site for the rest of the week. For NPR News, I'm Jenny Abamu in Hyattsville, Maryland.
This is NPR News.
WNYC support comes from Netflix, presenting Frankenstein, from director and writer Guillermo del Toro, a retelling of the classic novel about what it means to be human, crave love, and seek understanding. Now playing in theaters on Netflix November 7th.
The Bowery presents Cameron McIntosh's production of Les Miserables. The Arena Concert Spectacular comes to Radio City Music Hall for a limited engagement July 23rd. Tickets available Friday at nyc.lesmis.com.
Big old screen, bowl of popcorn, gather around for a podcast.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Progressive Insurance. Customers can simplify their insurance needs and protect what's important by bundling home and auto. Learn more about bundling at progressive.com.
I'm David Brancaccio in Los Angeles. The largest entertainment company in the world is Netflix. If you rank it by stock price times the number of stocks, by that measure, the company is worth 6% less overnight after quarterly results that fell short. Now, Netflix blames Brazil, a tax dispute there. Beyond the realm of accountants and back into the world of content, Netflix is trying a new strategy to make more money. It's worked out a deal to stream some podcasts from Spotify, several sports talk shows, some true crime, pop culture too, shows that are both audio and video. What's the point of Netflix meets Spotify? Carnegie Mellon's Michael D. Smith joins us now. Professor, welcome.
David, it's great to be here.
Help me understand this. This is more about Netflix becoming a distribution system for podcasts that in many cases already do video?
I think this is a great deal for both Spotify and Netflix. There's value here on both sides. So Spotify has these podcasts that also have a video component. And guess what? Netflix has a great video platform that a lot of people use to discover new content.
I see. Let me understand what Netflix gets out of this, in your view.
Well, Netflix gets new content. And if you look at the sort of shows they're getting, what I see is new content that is going to tell Netflix a lot about the user. So, people who watch the Bill Simmons podcast.
Broncos Giants was the best game of the year. Just an unbelievable comeback by the Broncos, an unbelievable loss.
Netflix is going to know something about them and is going to be able to promote content to them versus the rewatchables, versus Recipe Club, versus serial killers. When they see me watching those shows, they're going to know a little bit about me and are going to be able to promote content to me much, much more easily than they otherwise could.
Aha, our consumer data is at play here. Spotify, what do they get out of this? I mean, their niche is audio, I guess.
Honestly, when I go to Spotify, I'm going to listen to stuff. And when I go to Netflix, I'm going to watch stuff. So I think what Spotify gets out of this is access to a new audience on a platform where people are there to watch video. The other thing I think Spotify gets out of this is the potential to keep Netflix out of the podcast game.
There's a brand we haven't mentioned here. You get the feeling that both Netflix and Spotify are looking over their shoulder. It begins with a Y. What brand might I be thinking about?
Yeah, I'm just guessing. YouTube? So let's address the elephant in the room here. They both get out of this the possibility of doing a better job of competing with YouTube. So I think when they look at each other in this deal, they say, you know what, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Let's create something where we both can do a better job of competing against YouTube.
Is it fair to say that Netflix has a better heeled audience than, say, YouTube?
That's my sense, right? Is by doing this, they're going after the top end of the market. And we'll let YouTube keep the bottom end of the market.
Audio with pictures. I look forward to the time when they have a camera up my nose. Trust me, I'm a handsome fellow at 2:15 a.m. Pacific time. But there's no way to stop it, right? I mean, people just want video with their content. That's what people are used to.
That's what we seem to be finding is we started with these podcasts as audio, and people discover actually it's a whole lot more fun to watch Conan O'Brien and Sona with video. So I think that's where it's moving. And I think this Spotify Netflix deal has a lot of value for both sides.
Michael D. Smith is a professor of information technology and public policy at Carnegie Mellon University. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, David.
Now, once a skeptic, America's central bank is warming to crypto. The Federal Reserve yesterday hosted a conference on innovations in paying for things with discussions on digital concoctions like stable coins and ways to link traditional finance and digital. Marketplace's Nancy Marshall-Genzer reports.
Fed Governor Christopher Waller kicked things off by saying the Fed is embracing new financial technology, not looking at it with suspicion or scorn.
This is an acknowledgement that distributed ledgers and crypto assets are no longer on the fringes, but are increasingly woven into the fabric of the payment and financial system.
U.S. regulators have been skeptical and cautious toward digital currencies, but now Waller says the central bank might create a new type of Fed account for fintech firms. It would give them access to Fed infrastructure for moving money around. These accounts wouldn't pay interest and could be capped, but they're a start, Waller says.
Payment innovation moves fast, and the Federal Reserve needs to keep up.
This would be a major benefit for crypto firms. Right now, they have to rely on third parties like banks that have full-fledged Fed accounts to make transactions. I'm Nancy Marshall-Genzer for Marketplace.
Dow futures are flat. S&P futures are up 0.1%.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Schwab. Schwab knows that investors want control of their financial future. That's why when it comes to wealth management, Schwab is dedicated to giving investors more choices. More at schwab.com. And by Bitwarden, a password manager for business designed to help turn end-of-year IT budgets into long-term enterprise security success. Learn more at bitwarden.com.